Welcome to the OddsBreakers, number one place for shared, sharp betting information.
Welcome back to podcast 3 of 2019. I'm your host, Kiev O'Neill. You can tweet me at the Public Dog, and you can tweet us at the OddsBreakers. No more college football. No more. But that doesn't stop the fun that we have on Saturdays, because we are here for you, and it is time for our Thursday night special podcast to go over some of the plays that we're going to have this weekend. Should you be looking for a sports book, please visit theoddsbreakers.com/uwager. Please click on the banner and you can have a 50% sign-up bonus for first-time users. Terms and conditions apply. There's also some reload bonuses as well. If you'd like to help us out with our costs, well, we'd love to help you out. Become an OddsBreakers member. Get access to the full website as well as our premium picks when we make the picks before the line moves. And for $2 more, you can have all that and become a patron subscriber and get our podcast a little bit early. If nothing else, please visit theoddsbreakers.com and become a free picks newsletter subscriber. All right, so I'm going to make these Thursday night shows, whether we have a guest or not. I'm going solo tonight. Short and sweet, hit on some key things here. Hopefully that help you out in your handicapping. And obviously give you some of the plays that I like that might either talk you on or off some of the games that you might be looking to watch. I'd like to first start with kind of where I rank the Big Ten. Now, I use KenPom a lot for handicapping as well as some power ratings, but KenPom seems to rule. I have the algorithm for it, and it seems to be, what Vegas uses, and it's really close to the way I do it, and I figure that there's a lot of power ratings out there. If you want to handicap easily, just add your 3 to 4 points for home field advantage, depending upon what team that you're handicapping, and then do the difference between the power rating. That's just a simple way to do it. I'm not sure if that's going to get you to 52%, 52.5%, but it's definitely a start. Then you look at spots. Then you look at obviously injuries. That's a huge thing. Look aheads, everything. All the things that make you a good handicapper. All right, so that's kind of how we approach this whole thing in basketball. But, more importantly, there's a lot of times you run your algorithm and something's off, and you're like, why is that, Well, Vegas, to be honest with you, they don't always use KenPom, and they have their own little formula as well. So I know they use it at first, but, their own little formulas, sometimes wrong, sometimes right. They don't care. They just want to balance the action. It's funny. If they would have put, for example, the national championship, if they would have made Clemson a 3.5 point favorite, I'm not sure if the line would have moved up to 6. It's just all about perception. People kind of trust the line where it comes at, and that's where you decide if it's wrong or right. But what Vegas cares about is balancing action. Let's get into it. Michigan is my number one Big Ten team. And by the way, I specialize in the Big Ten. If you're newer to this podcast, it's always great to specialize in a conference. And if you'd like to specialize in a conference and be on the OddsBreakers or contribute just through some blogging and some posting, we would love to hear from you. Please contact us via Twitter or at theoddsbreakers.com/contact us. Michigan, I do have as number one, and I'll tell you right now, Michigan State's really close. I mean, they've been playing amazing since that first loss to Kansas, and you definitely got to give it up to Michigan State. Tom Izzo's doing a fantastic job. Now, they might be first with that, but Josh Langford has been injured, okay? And and I don't want to put them ahead of Michigan, who's undefeated, some huge wins by themselves, North Carolina, a few other big ones. I'm not ready to crown Michigan State yet, but the way Michigan State is trending, they might pass the University of Michigan here. And then obviously it's up to the tournaments, but it's just more of a number in basketball. You don't have to make 4 teams, you have to make 64 teams plus the 4 at large, right? So Michigan State's just been blowing some teams away. Their bad losses, there's no bad losses. They lost to Kansas and they lost at Louisville. But then they routed Iowa. They won at Florida without Langford. They beat, of course, Green Bay. They took care of business, just blew Northwestern's doors off by like 30 points or something like that. 26 points, actually. Then they beat up Ohio State by 9 and beat Purdue by 18. They've just been on fire lately, even without Langford. So Michigan State, definitely one to be watching. Third, I have Wisconsin. And to be honest with you, you can say I'm biased, but everyone has Wisconsin third. If you look at KenPom, they have Wisconsin ranked 13th, and Michigan is 7th, and Michigan State is 3rd. So they actually have Wisconsin 3 as well. If you look at some of the power ratings out there, it wouldn't be too different. Now, I think that the AP ranks them 22nd, but that's only because of the 4 losses. They don't go by how good a team really is. They factor in your winnings and losses a lot more than, they should, right? The next team I have is Nebraska. Nebraska under Tim Miles is kicking ass this year. We have that future on Nebraska to win the NCAA championship. Obviously, we can start hedging it I believe that they're going to make it. And I think they just got done beating Penn State tonight. And we're on Penn State plus 10, 70-64. We're good. So Nebraska, I'm not going to say high ceiling because they don't have a high ceiling. They're not going to win it all. They're going to get up there, play their asses off, be happy they got in the tournament, maybe make the Sweet 16. But they're just very high floor, low ceiling type team. Maryland, they're next, and they've been on fire lately. They just beat Minnesota at Minnesota. They've been rocking, and they're a top 25 team right now. They got guys like Anthony Cowan Jr., Bruno Fernando, Jalen Smith, Andre Wiggins, Eric Ayala. It's just they're pretty stacked, and you got to give it up to this team. They've done an exceptional job. And they have a higher ceiling because they've had some better recruits than Nebraska. Next, I have Purdue. Matt Painter, man, he's loved and hated out there. It just depends what your feelings on him really are. Carson Edwards is a beast, and that's about it. There's a few other guys. Matt Harms is really good, and Klein's good, but Boudreaux but they're really a one-man team if you look at the stats. Indiana is next. Archie Miller doing a fantastic job. Romeo Langford, when he's hot, the team's unstoppable. When he's not, man, they sometimes look lost. Sometimes it's just how well is Romeo playing. Ohio State I have next. They've been a little bit disappointing, losing a few games here. Let's see if they can rebound. I had them a lot higher. I think I had them as high as 3rd, but now I have them at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th. But they're all really bunched up after, Michigan State. Wisconsin's not even that much ahead of Nebraska. I don't think. I think it's Michigan, Michigan State, then the bunched up Wisconsin, Nebraska, Maryland, Purdue, Indiana, Ohio State, and then Iowa's they're after Ohio State. Fran McCaffrey. This team does not do well on the road. Minnesota is next. They had that great win against Wisconsin in Wisconsin, and Wisconsin played terrible that game. Then you have Penn State with Pat Chambers, won the NIT last year. Then you have Northwestern, Rutgers, which had that awesome win against Ohio State a few days ago, and then Illinois, the bottom of the barrel. Man, what happened to Illinois? It used to be a great basketball team. But to our chagrin, whatever keeps the Badgers towards the top is what makes me happy. And obviously, winning Big Ten sports betting is what really makes me happy. So that's what we're focused on for this week. All right. Well, without further ado, like I said, we're going to keep this kind of short and sweet. We're going to get right into our plays for the weekend. I'm going to start out with a nice and easy one for you. We're going to go with the team I know best, and that's the University of Wisconsin playing Purdue at home. The spread's between 4 and 5 points. The look-ahead line, it came out. It's a Friday night game to get your weekend going. If you look at both teams, you think top 30, right? Both tournament teams this year. I'd be shocked if one of them didn't make it, okay? Purdue has an outstanding guard in Carson Edwards. He scores 24.5 points per game, okay? But there is a significant drop-off after him. Significant. There is only one more guy at Purdue who averages double-digit points, okay? And that's senior guard Ryan Klein. So that's the team, I mean, they got a lot of bench depth, but Wisconsin, on the other hand, they have 3 guys in double digits with Ethan Happ, Demetric Trice, and Brad Davidson, and a much better defense than Purdue. One thing that I like to look at this time of year when handicapping is this home and road splits. Okay, it's just a nice predictor. It just doesn't tell you the whole story to just take their season average against their season average. You got to kind of look at home and road splits when it comes to your handicapping. Okay, Purdue at home averages a nice fat 82 points per game, but they're not at home. They're on the road, and it's all the way down to 74 points a game when they're on the road. Wisconsin at home averages a fat 81 points per game and only 69 on the road. So that shows you your big variance about the home and road splits, and that's why you should look at that when you handicap. The fact that Wisconsin plays a slower game, it's way slow, they also outrank Purdue in both field goal percentage at home at 50% to Purdue's 42.7%. I think those two factors really, really speak volumes here, okay? Because Wisconsin is going to control the pace of the game, frustrate Purdue, and Purdue's going to shoot a bad percentage on the road. It's already shown. The Badgers had a stinker at home last time, right, against the Gophers. Then they went to Penn State. Penn State's Pat Chambers was suspended a couple nights ago. I think it was Sunday night. And Wisconsin destroyed them. But now they're coming back, and they let down their fans when they played the Gophers. So they're going to be looking for a little redemption against Purdue for the fans. But now Purdue is going to be without swing forward Evan Boudreau. Okay? He pulled his groin, and he is their 4th best scorer. They're 4th. Now, they're all bunched up really after Carson Edwards, right? But still, I mean, big rotational guy here. The fact that Purdue is 0-4 straight up against top 25 teams and 1-3 against the spread on the road, takes the cake to me. The formula here is simple. For Wisconsin, you stop Carson Edwards, and then you win big.